And they'll say, Don, I've got so many ideas, I just don't know which one to work on first. Hey, it's Don Skaggs again for Empowered Inventing, where we help you help other people by taking innovation, your great idea, and opportunities and turning them into real things like products and businesses. Now, you know, inventors and entrepreneurs are just kind of a separate breed from the rest of the world. We really are. We're a separate tribe. And we always have these great ideas. When the rest of the world looks at something and they just kind of wonder, well, why is that way? Usually they just shrug their shoulders and wander off and just go about the rest of their lives in business. Where inventors and entrepreneurs a lot of times will ask, well, why not? Why isn't that? And they dig into that. And that sparks creativity, and that sparks new ideas, and that sparks, oh, how come no one's ever done it this way before? And a lot of times that's where we come up with some really, really great innovations. We find opportunities to match those innovations, and a lot of times we'll have a really, really good business model to get started with for a startup or a business or maybe even a licensing deal. So, but there's a problem with the fact that we are so creative and the fact that we just come up with so many great ideas. And that's the fact that we come up with so many great ideas. And if you're like me, you've come up with a half a dozen new ideas in the shower. By the time you get to breakfast, you're just furiously writing all these down because you're trying to think, oh wow, what about this one? What about this one? And then you file them all away. But the thing is then when you go to them later and you're looking through, and by the way, if you're not doing this, I highly recommend this. Make yourself what I call an idea bin or an idea file, where you take all your ideas. Every time you think of something new, write it down, put it in one place, and then go and review and look through them later to try to see. Because sometimes when you kind of let them percolate a little bit and you come back to them later, the good ones can sort of bubble to the top. At least the first draft of what you think might be the good ones. So you're going back through those and you're looking and you're thinking, oh, these are all such great ideas. And I've had so many inventors that will come to me in our meetings or our workshops at the Inventors Network, and they'll say, Don, I've got so many ideas, I just don't know which one to work on first. I don't know which one. Do I need to work on them all at the same time? And usually that's not a good idea. Think about pushing a car, and you can get a car going if you can get behind it and push it, if it's light enough and you're kind of going on a level road or maybe downhill. But if you have 10 cars to push at once, one person's likely not going to be able to do that. So don't try to push 10 cars at once. You'll never push any of them usually. If you're trying to, if you put a big bar across them and you're trying to push all 10 at once, it's not going to happen. It's like trying to push a train. But you've got to you've got to pick one. That is the key. So many times is pick one, but you don't know which one. So how do you know which one to pick? So when you're faced with this quandary, ask yourself a question: what is the easiest? What is the least expensive? And what is the fastest thing I can ramp up and actually produce something that's going to make me money? And I look at it this way. Think of a tree, a very tall tree. And that tree is filled with all kinds of fruit. And some of the fruit may even be more attractive than other pieces of the fruit. And you have a ladder. Now, for some of us, that ladder is 12 feet tall. For a lot of the rest of us, it's a little step ladder and it doesn't go up that high. And the fruit on this tree represents all your ideas. And the ladder represents your resources, what you have. Some people have more resources than others. But you have to assess what your resources are and what you can reach first. Because the first fruit you can reach that looks like good fruit that's actually going to turn something around for you, is the first fruit you should go and pick. And that's the best way I can think of to illustrate it. Pick the fruit you can reach. It's the old adage of low-hanging fruit. And if you can get that first, what that's going to do is you take that fruit, the fruit you can pick first, you cash that in. You turn that into, again, real things like businesses, and you turn it into dollar bills. And then you go buy you a bigger ladder, and you say, oh wow, now I can reach this other fruit that I was really wanting to reach. Because so many inventors, we get these stars in our eyes and we say, I want to pick these ones right at the top because that's the big grandiose one, that's my grand opus, but you can't reach it yet. And what'll happen is you'll constantly be reaching for something that you can't grab yet, and it will freeze you in time and space because you'll never do anything. You can't reach the one you're reaching for, and while the ones you can reach, you're completely avoiding. So, number one, pick one. Don't fall into the trap of not picking one idea to work on. And then, you have to vet that idea. You have to go through the process of vetting it. You have to, again, we don't want to take a lot of time, a lot of money, and a lot of resources to make sure that this is a good idea. And the way we find out this is a good idea is not by your brother-in-law, your wife, your cousin, your best friend telling you it's good or not. Anyone who you're in a relationship with is not a good person to give you feedback on that. You want customers telling you yes with dollar bills. Those are the certificates of appreciation that customers are really telling the truth that you have a good product. So you test the market out with that. You do it with a low-hanging fruit, and then you go buy you a bigger ladder. And pretty soon you'll have one of those big 12-foot jobs, and you can get up there and reach the real high stuff and really move forward. So anyway, I hope this was helpful. If you're watching this on YouTube, please be sure and subscribe. Help us build our tribe here at empoweredinventing.com. If you see the notification bell, be sure and click on that as well. And again, I'm Don Skaggs, empoweredinventing.com. I will look to see you at the next meeting, workshop, maybe one of our online classes, or on the next video.